Welcome to the Automobile Brief. The content of the briefing includes: Tesla strikes in Sweden are insane, says Elon Musk. The future of urban transport has wings. Washington State Patrol responds to fatal hit-and-run collision in Kitsap County. Stellantis to lift revenue target for circular economy recycling unit. Right-wingers slammed for rush to call Niagara blast a terror attack. Tesla strikes in Sweden are insane, says Elon Musk. Financial Times. Tesla is facing an escalating strike in Sweden by a group of unions, which threatens to disrupt the U.S. carmaker's operations in other parts of Europe. Around 130 mechanics in Sweden, who belong to the IF Metal Union and service Tesla cars, went on strike after the company turned down their request for collective bargaining. Dockworkers and car dealers have since refused to work with the brand, and the latest strike by postal workers means that Tesla cars will not have their license plates delivered to customers. The largest risk to Tesla is that unions in other nations, especially Germany, join the strike. The future of urban transport has wings. Telegraph. The future of personal transport is a topic that has been explored by many companies and individuals. While some ideas, such as flying cars and driverless pods, seem unlikely to become a reality anytime soon, other technologies have a more practical application. Drones, for example, are already being used by companies like Amazon for parcel delivery, and have clear potential in the transportation of goods. E-cargo bikes are another environmentally friendly option for urban areas, providing a versatile mode of transport with lower economic and environmental costs than cars. High-speed rail is another effective way to transport people long distances, with significantly lower emissions than air travel. While there are many exciting ideas for the future of personal transport, it is clear that no one technology will be the solution. The future is likely to involve a combination of different modes of transport, tailored to the specific needs of individuals and communities. Smaller cars, such as microcars, and e-cargo bikes have clear advantages in terms of size, emissions, and cost, and can be used effectively in urban areas. However, there are still challenges to overcome, such as range, weather protection, and parking, which need to be addressed for these technologies to become more widespread. Ultimately, the future of personal transport will require a mix of technologies, each suited to different situations and needs. Washington State Patrol responds to fatal hit-and-run collision in Kitsap County. Yahoo! A hit-and-run collision in Kitsap County, Washington has resulted in one death. The collision occurred on State Route 3 at Sunny Slope and the causing vehicle was found nearby. The roadway was closed for several hours but has since reopened. The Washington State Patrol is investigating the incident. Stellantis to lift revenue target for circular economy recycling unit. Reuters. Stellantis intends to revise its 2030 revenue target for its recycling and reconditioning unit after seeing a 25% rise in revenue so far this year. The automaker plans to generate €2 billion, $2.2 billion, in revenue from its circular economy unit by 2030 by recycling parts and materials, including electric vehicle, EV, batteries. Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares said volatility in raw materials prices made EVs less affordable for consumers, and that a stable flow of supplies would help to avoid price fluctuations. He added that raw material inflation was a problem for the progression of electrification. Right-wingers slammed for rush to call Niagara blast a terror attack. The Independent. Fox News has been criticized for reporting that a deadly car explosion near the Niagara Falls crossing was a terrorist attack, an assertion that was later retracted. The explosion initially led to fears of an attack, prompting officials to briefly close 4 border bridges between the U.S. and Canada. Right-wing figures, including Senator Ted Cruz, blamed Joe Biden's border policies for the incident, despite the fact that New York Governor Kathy Hochul confirmed at a press conference that there was no sign of terrorist activity and the FBI stated that no explosives were found at the scene. The FBI's investigation of car wreck at Niagara Falls Bridge, no indication of terrorism. The Toronto Star. The FBI has concluded its investigation into a car crash at a border checkpoint in Niagara Falls, New York, and has found no evidence to suggest that it was a terror attack. The crash occurred when a vehicle raced through an intersection, hit a median, and was launched into the air before crashing into a line of booths and exploding. 2 people were killed in the incident, and the identities of the victims have not yet been released. The FBI found no explosive materials at the scene and no connection to terrorism. Local police are now handling the case as a traffic investigation. Kakua Line, how many ways to say mahalo? Yahoo! The Honolulu Star-Advertiser has published a list of readers' expressions of gratitude this Thanksgiving. Among those thanked were people who paid for others' meals, helped someone who was locked out of their car, found lost keys, and returned a purse that had been left in a shopping cart. UK's rarest cars, 1979 Honda Accord S1, one of only 22 left. Telegraph. A 1979 Honda Accord Series 1, S1, is one of just 22 remaining on British roads. The car was the first successful vehicle above the Super Mini and Micro K car classes for Honda and was designed to tempt British drivers away from cars made by Vauxhall. The Accord was a front-wheel drive hatchback with all-independent suspension and a 5-speed gearbox, unusual for a Japanese car at the time. The Accord is now in its 11th incarnation, with total sales exceeding 18 million. Well, my lovely viewers, it's been quite an eventful day in the news. We've got strikes in Sweden that are causing trouble for Tesla, the future of personal transport taking flight, a tragic hit-and-run collision in Washington state, Stellantis aiming to boost revenue through recycling, right-wingers jumping the gun on calling an explosion at Niagara Falls a terror attack, and the FBI concluding its investigation with no evidence of terrorism. And finally, we have some heartwarming stories of gratitude and a rare sight on UK roads, a 1979 Honda Accord. Now, let's talk about these strikes in Sweden. Elon Musk, the man with all the big ideas, called them insane. I mean, come on, Elon, you've sent cars to space, surely you can handle a few strikes, right? But in all seriousness, this strike could cause some trouble for Tesla in Europe, especially if other unions join in. It's a situation worth keeping an eye on. Speaking of keeping an eye on things, the future of personal transport is a hot topic. We've got flying cars, driverless pods, drones, e-cargo bikes, and high-speed rail all vying for our attention. It's like a transportation buffet out there. But the truth is, no single technology will be the ultimate solution. We're going to need a combination of different modes of transport to meet the diverse needs of individuals and communities. So, while we dream of flying cars, let's not forget about the practical options that are already making a difference. Now, let's move on to the explosive situation at Niagara Falls. Fox News jumped the gun on calling it a terrorist attack, only to retract the statement later. It just goes to show how important it is to get the facts straight before making such serious accusations. But hey, it's not just Fox News, even Senator Ted Cruz got in on it, blaming border policies for the incident. Talk about a rush to judgment. The FBI has now concluded its investigation and found no evidence of terrorism. So, let's all take a deep breath and wait for the facts next time, shall we? And finally, let's end on a positive note. Thanksgiving may be over, but the spirit of gratitude is still alive. People in Honolulu were thanking each other for acts of kindness, like paying for meals or returning lost items. It's a beautiful reminder that small gestures can make a big difference in someone's day. And speaking of small, how about that rare 1979 Honda Accord in the UK? Only 22 left on the road. It's like spotting a unicorn. So, if you happen to come across one, give it a little wave and say, "Hello, rare Accord." It's the polite thing to do. Alright, my dear viewers, that's all for today's news. Remember, the future of personal transport is a mix of technologies, strikes can be a speed bump for even the biggest companies, and let's not jump to conclusions before all the facts are in. Now, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What do you make of all these stories? Do you have any wild ideas for the future of personal transport? Share your thoughts and questions, and let's keep the discussion going. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.